Wow. Now, this animal that came out
Wow.
was in the sea, so obviously had gills. When it came up out of the land, did it have lungs onto the land?
It could have either been amphibious or possibly even just had to evolve from having gills and not being able to survive without them.
So you think we may have come from birds?
It's possible. It's really possible from anything.
The first dog that came out, well, it came up as a reptile, whatever it was, from an amoeba that was in the water that had gills and developed lungs and came up onto the land as a reptile. Was it male or female?
Probably unisex.
So when did it, and why did it change from asexual to bisexual, having male or female?
Probably when it, maybe from hydras or maybe some form of, meiosis, like between a male and a female.
So the first reptile that was under the sea as an amoeba, for millions of years developed lungs under the water, put up on the land, was unisex?
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. I can't say for sure.
Was it a male or female that came out of the change?
It would be both, maybe a hermaphroditic.
So do you think we could have evolved from horses?
Sure.
This animal that came out without lungs and breathed and went back in, was he male or female?
I don't know. He could, yeah. He could have been a hermaphrodite.
He was male and female?
Yeah, probably.
And he was alone?
I don't know. Could have been.
So he could have been alone?
Could have been alone.
So how did he reproduce?
I don't know. Asexually.
He split in two?
He could have.
Yeah. And this is the evidence that this teacher gave you?
His was a lot more in depth, but I don't remember it all. Sorry.
Well, I really have no idea. I'm not an expert on that subject.
But then you gotta know that I'm not authoritative.
You're not an authority on evolution?
I'm a personal person, you know what I mean? Like, with no major degree or anything.
Do you think God had anything to do with this?
That's an area I have never explored, but it's hard not to believe that sometimes.
Okay, here's a simple lesson on evolution. The theory of evolution basically teaches that every living creature, like you and me, evolved from a single cell billions of years ago. So that means that every animal supposedly transformed into another kind of animal over time. Now, the big problem evolutionists have is that they're finding a huge gap in the fossil record. In other words, when archaeologists dig up the bones of these dead animals, they don't find these transitional forms that helped one animal transform into another animal. And if you don't have those bones, you can't prove evolution ever happened. That's what they're calling the missing link. And there's not just one. There would have to be thousands and thousands of those transitional forms. The truth is, they're not missing at all. They never existed in the first place. Now, maybe you're asking, what about the proof? I mean, what about those science teachers that showed us those drawings of apes all hunched over and then eventually straightening themselves up and becoming very man-like? Well, remember, those are just drawings. That's not proof. The real proof is in what we can find in the fossil record, the bones that we dig up, and that's what's missing, the actual proof. In reality, this is what scientists actually have. Me and the monkey. Apes and humans. The supposed transitional forms are what are known as the missing links. But the truth is, there is no missing link. There's nothing to link apes to human. The supposed transitional forms simply don't exist. Except in the imagination of evolutionists who want to justify their theory.
For instance, the amazing discovery of Lucy. But now, nearly all experts agree that Lucy was just the skeleton of a 3-foot-tall chimpanzee. Or Nebraska